Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Kay, and this is Sacred Astrology. And you can find me at www.circleofbreath.com/sacred astrology. This year, I'd like to do a report at least once a week, maybe every day. That's ambitious. And talk about the influences and how to use them to have a productive year. Because we are in the midst of huge cycles of change, a turbulent ocean of energetic flux. Yeah. There are several huge cycles approaching and ending and beginning. We have a 25,000 year cycle and a 5,000 plus year cycle and a 200 plus year cycle. And they're not all exact. They're not all going to hit at one point, but they're converging in this decade at this time, and we can feel those movements underlying our planetary cycles. We are also privileged to be living at this time. It's absolutely out of the box in its potential. And our potential as human beings to wake up and activate intelligences inside of us that have been dormant, like Rip Van Winkle, for thousands of years. We can do that now. So my focus with astrology at this time is to look for influences in the chart that will help me do that. And I've been an astrologer for several decades, and I've done the normal readings with the normal interpretations and predictions, and I don't like that anymore. What I really want to do is wake up the resources inside of myself that can be a part of the emerging new world, the new order, the new truth, and not just the new, but the very ancient that has been slumbering inside of us. We know that there were civilizations more than 5,000 years ago in the last cycle that had attained heights of human intelligence, maybe not technological intelligence, but spirit, intuitive, and an earthly intelligence that we really don't have much record of because in the ensuing ages, all the evidence, most of it has been wiped out. We find fragments, but a lot of it's been wiped out. So we may be entering a period of time where the past that has come before us is going to be wiped out. But there is a reserve in the human being that has a connection to all of that, and it's not from the thought process. It's from the other intelligences in our body, and that's what I look for in astrology. So this week, actually, I looked at the transits for January 7th, and that's Pacific Standard Time. So today I'm recording this on January 6th, but it's already January 7th in China. I know that. But the influences for 24 hours from now is what I was looking at to make this video. The primary thing that I noticed is the sun at mid Capricorn, just past mid Capricorn at 16. Right now it's at 16 in Capricorn. And it's moving into a trine, which is at 23 degrees of Taurus with Uranus. So Uranus is at 23 degrees of Taurus, Sun's at 16 Capricorn. Both of those are earth signs. Now the sun goes through mid Capricorn every year at this time. And you can look outside the light. This is mid Capricorn light in the northern hemisphere. And I'm in the northern hemisphere. And there's a feel of the earth that we have. There's a feel of stability and uh, kind of a slowing down of the externally reaching energies and a fomenting in the underground internalness. Moving into that trine with Uranus into another earth sign, Uranus can lend spark, electrical impulse, and creative bolts from out of the blue. The unexpected doesn't always have to be awful. It can be terrific, and it can be inspiring and magical and wondrous. So we can invite that spark into our deep underground being, the being in our bellies, the intelligence in our intestines. We can rest and breathe deeply into the belly and the low back and ask that our deepest dreams and visions, not the ones pounded into us by our external society, by media and entertainment and the artificially induced algorithmic programmed world that we consume daily, but by the intelligence that lies inside of each cell in the DNA, coming up through the water of the ancient intelligence within us. When we meet that with the presence of our breath in the present time of Sun in mid-Capricorn moving into a trine with Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus, we can allow potential, perhaps that we don't see every day, to arise maybe in our dreams, or maybe in a vision or a creative moment. And now, if you have planets between, say, 15 or 14 degrees of Virgo and 23 or 24 degrees of Virgo, that might be activated in the trine, and that would be in your natal chart. That might be activated in these trines, and it might complete the trine and connect with you in a very different way than just someone who doesn't have any planets there at all. So it may help you receive in an area of your life this fomenting impulse of planted seeds of earthen abundant potential. Earth intelligence is very different than algorithmic intelligence. So to contact our own earth intelligence is so important for grounding through what's coming up. Now, the other impulse that I'm looking at for this week, which is magical, is Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius, trine the south node at 0 degrees of Aries, trine Sedna at 0 degrees of Gemini. These are the air signs. These are more penetrating and less heavy. Let's just say it like that. What does that mean in your body? How do you breathe an air sign in your body as opposed to how do you breathe an earth sign in your body? That you have to discover. That's what I work on in my astrology. How do we tangibly feel these signs and these energies moving through our being, our reality, our work life, our creative life? So Pluto's a bit of a troublemaker, yes, and Pluto will dig up old bones. Wouldn't it be great if Pluto could dig up the intelligence of the ancients of Atlantis, or the ancients of the beings that created the pyramids and the Sphinx and the fields in the Incan fields? Wouldn't that be amazing if Pluto could do that? We actually have access to that, but in a non-verbal, non-thinking realm. So the South Node is the collective energies of what we have received and generated, the gifts that we have accumulated and earned throughout our beingness, the resources that we have to use. And this is trine Pluto in the very early degrees of Aquarius. And the South Node won't be here for long. So it's a very auspicious time to allow the light of the South Node at the very beginning of Libra to flow into the light of Pluto at the very beginning of Aquarius, and allow that light to bring images of potential. Because when we create a new world, we can only create it from where we are now. We can't just destroy where we are and jump into a new world. We have to take steps, either energetically or physically, into the next realm. Everybody's talking about Pluto in Aquarius and AI. Well, AI is only going to take over if we step by step surrender to AI. And what the South Node in Libra is giving us is an ability to look at that potential with the gifts that we already have and decide, do I want to surrender my total humanity to AI? Maybe not. Maybe not. Now, Sedna at 0 degrees of Gemini, that is a heavenly body that's associated with transformation, complete transformation, and sacrifice. I'm not going to go into the story, but you can read about it or hear about it. Maybe I'll do another video on it. But that sacrifice, that willing to let go, not of your life. We're not all going to be lemmings going off a cliff. What we're going to do is let go of the structures in our life that do not support us, do not support our humanity. And the South Node in Libra is a really good place to this week to feel the gifts of being human, the gifts that only humans have, the resources that we have in our DNA to sense our ancestors, the resources that we have in our mind to critically think and not blindly surrender to an algorithm, the resources that we have in our digestion to know what's nutritious. Our body will reject something that's awful right away. And a lot of the inflammation and metabolic diseases going on now is not something that's wrong with the body. It's the actual intelligence of the body saying, I don't like this stuff you're putting in here. And so I'm going to create some inflammation to protect myself from it. So the body has an inherent earth intelligence. We have a spirit intelligence, and I'm using it right now. I'm looking into a little green dot on my computer, and I'm communicating with you right now. That's a spirit intelligence. It's a practical spirit intelligence. I can, at night, when I'm taking a walk under the stars with a little green dot in my heart, look at the realm of divine beings, beings that have come before, beings that have come after, beings in the eternal realm beyond time. And they have an intelligence and a way of breathing, and I can breathe that into my heart and receive that intelligence, for which there is no immediate language. There are many, many, many attempts to direct your attention there. The basic one is to breathe into your heart and let your mind just relax for a moment. Let your body settle into the earth and receive that intelligence. And then we have the intelligence of breath, which supports all of it. This is a good week for that. So what happened with Sedna is after the sacrifice, the disappointment, there's a huge transformation, and she becomes that which her being surrenders into. She becomes the ocean. She becomes the delight, the beauty of the sea. She becomes 1,000 megafold more magnificent than she was as a singular human, as a contained and isolated human with one story. And I think reflecting that into Pluto in Aquarius is going to help us understand the huge wave potential of Pluto in Aquarius. And do we want to surrender to something that's human or not human? Do we want to surrender to life itself or to a mechanistic reproduction of life? That's a big choice we have right now. But we have to look at what inside of us is mechanical and what inside of us has a degree of inspiration that comes from beyond the mechanical realm, beyond the digital realm. What intelligence lives there? Okay, that's what I'm doing this week. I just thought I would share it with you. Come check it out at www.circleofbreath/sacredastrology.com. Happy New Year.